In this video, I will build a cursor reveal effect from scratch, one that reveals a hidden image, swaps text color, and shrinks to nothing when you're not touching the text. By the end, you'll understand every line, including why I made each decision along the way, and this one works both on mouse and touch, so stick around for the budget part 2. Before writing any code, let's talk concept. We need a shape, a circle that acts as a window. Anything inside is visible, everything outside is hidden. In CSS, that's exactly what Clip-Path does. To get multiple effects from one circle, I layered things. A dark version of my text sits underneath everything, and a white version of the same text sits on top, clipped inside the same circle. Wherever the circle is, you see the white text. Everywhere else, dark text. Before we get into Clip-Path or JavaScript, here is the skeleton. 4 elements stacked on top of each other with absolute positioning. Image at the back, dark text next, the clipped white text on top of that, and last an SVG that draws nothing. It just holds our Clip-Path definition. DOM order here is stacking order, so this sequence matters. Swap it and the white text ends up hidden behind the dark text instead of showing through it. This SVG doesn't render anything visible on its own. It just defines a Clip-Path. Other elements can reference. The radius here controls how big the reveal window is. Notice both rules point at the same Clip-Path ID. That's the shape driving both the image reveal and the text color swap. Everything from here is about making that shape move and behave. Here is a mistake I actually made building this. My first instinct was to resize and center the white text SVG directly, S25% width, center with transform, and put the Clip-Path on the same element. What happens, the circle no longer lines up with the cursor. That's because Clip-Path coordinates are local to the element it's applied to. Resizing that element shifts its whole coordinate space, so the circle stops meaning what we think it means. The fix is the wrapper you saw in the layout a minute ago. Clip-Path goes onto a full screen wrapper matching the same coordinate space as the cursor and the image. The resizing centering happens on the SVG inside that wrapper instead. The wrapper stays untouched and full size, only its contents get styled. First, GSAP.set shifts the circle's transform origin so its X and Y always represents its center, not its top left corner. Then, instead of listening for mouse move, I am using pointer move. The pointer events API unifies mouse touch and stylus into the single event type. So this same handler works whether someone using a trackpad or dragging a finger across their phone. That means no separate touch event branch, no duplicate logic. One listener covers both. GSAP's twins smoothly between positions instead of snapping instantly. That's what makes a circle glide rather than jump. GSAP can twin SVG attributes directly, not just CSS transforms. So we twin the circle's radius itself. A bounding box check tells us if the pointer is inside the text. If not, the circle shrinks to nothing. This is the bounding box check, not per letter. So gaps between words still counts as inside. That's a deliberate simplification. True per glyph detection would need point in path hit testing, which is overkill here. On a smaller screen, shrink the circle so it doesn't dominate the whole viewport. And because we are using pointer move instead of mouse move, this same circle follows the logic already working correctly on touch devices too. No extra event branching needed for mobile. One thing to double check on touch, since there is no hover state on a phone, the circle only appears once the finger actually touches the screen and starts moving. Worth keeping in mind if your design relies on the circle being visible by default. So to recap, one SVG Clip-Path shared between an image and a wrapped duplicate text layer driven by a single pointer move listened with the GSAP. Handling movement, shrinking, and cross-device input all from handful of lines. A few ways to extend this: swap the circle for a different shape, add a subtle scale up on hover, or replace the duplicated text layer with mixed blend mode to cut the DOM in half. Full code is in the description. If you want more breakdowns like this, subscribe. And if you saw the short version first, thanks for coming back for the deep dive. Thank you.